Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to walk through how you can find a really great dog trainer, especially if you're living in or around Redmond, Oregon. Here in Central Oregon, a dog isn't just a pet, right? They're a partner for that active outdoor life we all love. And having a well-behaved buddy just makes every single one of those adventures so much better. So, here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with what it's like to have a dog around here, then get into defining your specific needs. After that, we'll talk about how to choose a trainer, what to expect from the whole process, and finally, where you can practice those new skills right here in town. All right, let's get right into it. First up, we need to understand why the Redmond environment itself is such a big part of your training goals. Think about it. A typical day for a Redmond dog, it's not just a simple walk around the block, is it? You're out there navigating trails with mountain bikes whizzing by. You're handling deer and rabbits that just pop out of nowhere, and hopefully you're relaxing on a brewery patio afterward. Every one of those situations takes a certain set of skills, and that's exactly what good training gives you. Okay, so before you even start looking for a trainer, it's really helpful to get clear on what exactly you and your dog need to work on.
First things first, what's your main goal? Are you just looking for a wonderful family companion, or are you dealing with a specific behavior problem that needs some modification? Maybe you're even thinking about something fun like agility or important work like therapy training. Knowing your big picture goal really helps narrow down your search.
Next up, you've got to think about the format. How do you want this training delivered? Are you looking for that really intensive, immersive experience of a board and train, or would private lessons in your own home be better? Group classes, of course, are great for socializing, and day training can be a lifesaver if you have a busy schedule. And of course, what are these specific behaviors you're hoping to work on? A solid recall, coming when called, is absolutely essential on the trails. Leash pulling can make every walk a drag. And if you have a puppy, it's all about building that strong foundation from the very beginning. So try to be specific about what you're aiming for.
All right, once you've got your goals figured out, it's time for the big step, finding the right professional to help you. This is probably the most important decision you'll make.
And this really gets to the heart of it. There are two huge things here: humane methods and local know-how. Positive reinforcement, which is just using rewards like treats or praise to build good behavior, is so important because it builds trust. It makes learning fun for your dog. And when you combine that with a trainer who actually understands the distractions of a Redmond trail, well, you're setting yourself up for success in the real world. Now, here's something you should know. Oregon doesn't actually require special licenses for dog trainers. That's why professional certifications are such a good sign. They show you that a person has taken the time to formally study animal behavior and modern effective training techniques. So, for instance, if you see CPDT-K after a trainer's name, that tells you they've passed a pretty tough standardized test on everything from learning theory to animal behavior. It's a really solid, reliable credential to look for. So when you're on the phone or meeting with a potential trainer, you'll want to have some questions ready. Definitely ask about their methods. You want to hear words like reward-based or positive reinforcement, and really pay attention to how they talk about customizing the training for your life here in Redmond. Oh, and asking if they'll work with your vet is a great question, especially for behavior concerns.
All right, so you've picked your trainer. Awesome. Now let's talk about the practical stuff. The investment and how long things might actually take.
This table should give you a pretty good ballpark for what to expect, cost-wise for 2025. As you can see, a series of group classes is usually the most budget-friendly way to cover the basics. On the other end, an intensive board and train program for more complex issues will be at that higher end of the scale.
So, which one's the right fit for you and your dog? Well, group classes are fantastic for helping your dog learn to focus when other dogs and people are around. But in-home training is perfect for solving those problems that happen right in your house, like jumping on guests or surfing the counters. It really just depends on your main goals.
If you've just adopted a dog, this is a really helpful rule of thumb to keep in mind. It's called the 3-3-3 rule, and it just reminds us that dogs need time to adjust. A good trainer will always respect this timeline, introducing new things as your dog gets more and more comfortable in their new home. So, how long does it take to see results? Well, for most dogs who are just working on basic obedience, you can expect to see some really solid progress in about 4 to 8 weeks. The key word here, though, is consistency. With daily practice, you can get a whole lot done in just a couple of months. And now for the really fun part, taking all those new skills you've learned and putting them to the test out in the real world. And Redmond has some perfect spots for this. Let's talk about the Dry Canyon Trail. I mean, it is basically a perfect real-world classroom. It's a place where you can work on the exact skills you need for that Central Oregon lifestyle. And this is where it all comes together. On a trail like this, you get to practice keeping your dog's attention when a mountain biker goes by, or working on calm behavior when a runner approaches. It's the perfect place to build confidence and to practice that super important impulse control when a rabbit darts across the path.
Okay, what about off-leash stuff, like recall? When you're ready for that, the safest place to start is always a fenced-in dog park. And Redmond has some great ones. Here's a little tip. Try to go during quieter, off-peak hours at first. That way you can practice in a less distracting space before you try it during that busy weekend rush.
And in the end, that's really what this is all about, isn't it? Putting in the time for good training, it's not just about fixing problems, it's about opening up a whole new world of possibilities for you and your dog. A well-trained companion means more relaxing walks, more enjoyable visits with friends and family, and safer, happier adventures on all the incredible trails this area has to offer. Best of luck on your journey.